Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna, this is Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals, and today I'm going to do the 2020 reading survey. Okay, I have seen a couple of these going around. I feel like this is the best way to kind of wrap up 2020, and then after that we will move forward into 2021. So that's what we're gonna do. I could do the stats videos. I don't know if I will though, because it's just so much, and I don't know how interesting that is. If you want to see it, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you want to see those stats and reviews and things like that. I could definitely go in depth, and I have a great spreadsheet for that. I just don't know how interesting it is, and so if you guys don't want to watch it, I'm not gonna make it. But let me know. But I am gonna do the reading survey. I do not have books picked for this yet. So as far as I do have my stats pulled up, but I don't have for every book-ish answer. I don't have that, so we're gonna kind of do this off the cuff. I am following Gabby from Gabby Reads because she was awesome and put the the questions in the description box, so that's what we're going with, and I'll link her down below because she's awesome and you should follow her. First question is, how many books did you read? I read 128. I finished the year at 128. I finished 2 on New Year's Eve. Granted, I was well into both of them, so I was able to kind of just sit down and knock it out. Did I meet my goal? My goal for Goodreads was 100 books, so yeah, I definitely met that. I think I met it in October. So yes, I did. This year I have a goal of 125. That one's a little scary, so we'll see how that one goes. Okay, the second question is, what is your most read genre? According to this lovely chart here, it is contemporary, with 36 books being contemporary. That comes out to a little over 27% of the books that I read, with fantasy coming in second with 23 books and a little over 17%. Sounds about right, because I started reading more adult genre, and that means less fantasy, because I'm not... I have read a few adult fantasy books, but I'm not ready for, the Brandon Sanderson books of the world. I'm just not ready for those yet. So, because I've been reading more adult titles, they have been contemporaries, thrillers, romance, that kind of stuff. The next question is, what is your shortest and longest books read? The shortest one was a graphic novel that was Emma and Violet, and volumes 2 and 3 were both 48 pages. And the longest book that I read was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, at 870 pages by she who will not be named. And I'm not moving on with the series. I'm done. I unhauled them all. Bye-bye. Alright, the next question is, what is your favorite book published in 2020? If you saw my best books of the year, you know that is Take a Hint, Danny Brand by Talia Hibbert. I don't shut up about this author, and you know this. This is 100% my favorite book. I love this book so much, and I will scream its praise from the rooftops. The next question is, what is your favorite debut in 2020? And looking down my list of favorites, that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This did end up on my top books of 2020. This is such a dark and haunting contemporary about gaslighting and a very toxic relationship between a teacher and a student, and it was beautifully written, and I highly encourage it. Be in a good headspace, but this was a good book. The next question is your favorite book not published in 2020. So I did do an entire list of backlist favorites, and the one that came in at the top was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This book had so many plot twists. The twist at the end did not see coming. It's a medical thriller, which is something I'm finding that I'm really enjoying. There's also a lot of psychological elements to it, and being someone who studied psychology, this was fascinating. The next question is a book that you feel lived up to the hype. For me, that is 100% The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I was afraid going into this book because everyone was loving it, and I was so afraid that I wouldn't. I mean, I loved Vicious, but that's really the only book by V. Schwab that, like, I loved. Everything else was fine. It was good. They're, like, around 4 stars. So I didn't hate them by any stretch of the imagination, but, like, everyone was loving this book. Like, even people that didn't love V. Schwab as a whole loved this book. And so I was so afraid that I was going to go into it and it not blow me away. But it did. It did. Totally did. On the flip side of that coin, a book that did not live up to the hype for me is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I talked about this in my worst books of 2020, and it landed on that list because of the hype. So many people put this on their best books of 2019, and so when I picked it up, I had very high expectations. Like, people that read hundreds of thrillers loved this book, and so I did not. I was expecting great things, and I did not get it. So, did not live up to the hype. The next question is a book that you felt was the biggest accomplishment. There are 2 of them, but I don't know where the first one is. I don't know where, I didn't unhaul it. I don't know where it is. The first one is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. I did a vlog for this one, and it wasn't good. This book was bad. I ended up having to finish it on audio on like 3 times speed. So that was an accomplishment, just to like finish it. And then the other one was Crescent City, which is another big, huge, chunky fantasy. I read the large majority of it in like a week. I think I tried to do the whole vlog in 4 days. It didn't happen, but I did it at the beginning of coronavirus, and so that felt like an accomplishment because like I wasn't reading for those couple of weeks, so finishing that book was a big thing for me. The next question is, who was your favorite character? This one was actually hard for me, but I think a lot of the characters in An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. I really liked Maya, but I really liked April May too. But I also really liked Andy. I don't know, like, but these characters, like, as a group, I feel like just work together so well. The next question on the flip side of that is your least favorite character. 100% Prudence from Insane Karma. I hate her with every fiber of my being. And I don't hate characters that often, but like, she was so annoying that she takes the spot from Edward. So that should tell you something. And then the question for your favorite couple or your OTP. Is there any other answer than this? Let's be honest. I love this. I love Danny and Zaf with my entire soul. The next question is the most shocking book moment. And I can't tell you what that is without spoiling the books, but the plot twists in this book and the plot twists in this book. Both of these were both shocking. And that's why they made it at the top of my favorite books of the year. Like, who would have thought that my 2 favorite backlist books would have been thrillers? Who am I? I'm trying to put these away as I go, and it's just not working. The next question is the best written book. So the writing style in 2020. I think that this has to go to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This book made me want to stop writing my book because, like, I will never ascend to that higher plane. This is just phenomenal in the way that it was written. It's very Erin Morgenstern in its writing style. So this one has to take that award. The next question is the book that you pushed the most people to read in 2020. I would be interested to see what your thoughts are on this. So if I influence you to read a book, please let me know down in the comments below. Because like my automatic like knee-jerk reaction would be Dani Brown, just because like that's the book that I've pushed in the most like recommendation videos and things like that. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo would also kind of fit into that, although I don't think I really like, I think that might have made it into 1 recommendations video this year. But I know that during a lot of wrap-ups, people will say, oh, I just picked that book up, now you've made me excited to read it, or, you know, whatever. So I'm really curious. If I influenced you in any way to read a book, let me know down below. The next question is your favorite book cover of 2020. There were so many beautiful ones. Once and Future Witches is just stunning. There's so many that are just beautiful. But I think, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Sorry, this is like super chaotic. I think though the most beautiful one has to go to Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas, and simply because of that. Like, this is just stunning. It's the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and it's so beautiful. So beautiful. The next question is a favorite book adaptation, and I don't know that I've read many. I mean, I reread the Hunger Games trilogy, so that's a movie adaptation. I can't really think of any other movie adaptations that I did this year, or that I read this year. That just wasn't something that I picked up, interestingly enough, so there's that. The next question is, what book made you cry the most? I don't cry with reading. I've talked about this. I'm a robot. I don't cry. But Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo did make me tear up. Like, I may have, like, a tear may have fallen. So that's the only one. Sorry. I'm a robot. It's fine. I guess I don't have a lot of emotions when reading, because I can't think of a book that made me laugh. I can think of a book that brought me a lot of joy, and that was Black Flamingo by Dean Ada. This is a coming of age story that about a boy who, like, grows up. It's all done in verse, and it is about a boy who becomes a drag queen and finds the drag community, and this is just it's so joyful and heartwarming, but it didn't make me, like, laugh, haha, funny laugh. Like, the only other one that's coming to mind is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, and I don't think that one really made me laugh either, mostly because I was maybe laughing from embarrassment because it was, like, a little too real, but not like haha funny laugh. The next question is a new favorite author that you discovered. I discovered so many this year, like a lot of auto-buy authors. Talia Hibbert is obviously an auto-buy author. I found R.F. Kuang this year. I found Alex E. Harrow this year. I'm trying to think of, like, who else, like, became, like, an auto-buy this year. Because, like, Angie Thomas has always been an auto-buy author. I kind of reignited my love of Christina Lauren because I really liked In a Holidays and a couple of her backlist books, because at the end of the year on, like, a very terrible note with her last year, or in 2019. So, like, I don't know. There we go. There's the answer. The next question is your favorite reread, and I'm not going to pull it out because it's at the bottom of that stack, but I reread The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo every single year, and so I did that this June with my book club, and I loved it. Again, I got to annotate it this time, which was great because I've now read it I read it physically the first time, and then I listened to it on audio in 2019, and then in 2020 I got to physically read it again, but annotate my copy. So, always enjoy reading that, and I'll definitely reread it again next year. The next question is your favorite nonfiction book of the year, and I didn't read a lot of nonfiction this year. Really weird. I can probably count on one hand the amount of them that I read. So there's that. But I did read The Shortest Way Home by Pete Buttigieg. I read this in February before the election, and I really enjoyed this book. It's all about small town politics and, like, grassroots politics, and that was just really heartwarming, and in the midst of, like, the political turmoil that, like, America's in, it was nice to see, like, honest politics. And I know, like, it's probably a facade. Like, he is a politician, I get that, but, like, it was at least a little heartwarming to see that, like, not everybody is like Donald Trump. So that's good. I mean, like, his husband is a school teacher. They live in a simple 3-bedroom home in Indiana. Like, it's not like he's a step above everyone else, if that makes sense. And the last question is, overall, were you happy with your reading this year? And I really am. I didn't read as much as I did in 2019, but I know that I have to be gentle with myself. We were in the middle of a pandemic, and a lot of people's reading habits changed in 2020. And, like, some people are, reading 300 and 400 books this year or last year. It's going to take me a while to do that, but, and I didn't do that. There were months that I only read 3 or 4 books, and so that's just not, like, it's not conducive to reading 150 books in a year if you have a couple of months where you don't read. So I just know that I have to be gentle with myself, and overall, like, 128 books is still a lot, and I found some new, like, all-time favorites, so yeah, I'm happy. So anyways, I think that's gonna wrap up my 2020 year-end content. I do have an unhaul coming, but I don't know that that's gonna come, like, this week, because that's a big project, but I don't know if I can get that one done. But other than that, we're gonna move into 2021 and start fresh. So thank you all for joining me through this crazy year. And if you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video, and all of the other links to my social media will be in the description below if you would like to be my friend on any other platform. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. What makes this heart beat faster?